I'm going to walk up here just for the formality of walking up here and grabbing a hold of this, and I'll sit this. So I'm done standing up here, okay? So I'm going to come down here now, because as Cheryl said, I do a lot of work from the moon looking down and from the trenches every day. So I'm going to get into the trenches with you to talk about some of the things that are important to me. It's indeed an honor to be here. Mike, thanks for those lovely words. I know you were talking about it first. But let me tell you kind of what I want to do in the time that we have today. I want to talk to you about three things. And I want to do it kind of up close and personal. Is that okay with you, Susan? That works for you. Good. All right. The three things. I want to talk about the one thing that connects us. No matter what company we're in, no matter what our position happens to be, what industry that we're in, whether we're a provider, whether we are a client, doesn't matter. And that is change. Change is profound, and it's coming at us faster and faster. We all have to deal with it. And I'm going to talk to you about three things I think you can do with change. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about a different kind of leadership, because I believe all of us should be leaders in our organization. Doesn't matter if you have one person that reports to you, nobody reports to you. Doesn't matter if you have a one-person organization or you have thousands of people in your company. That we all should view ourselves as leaders in our organization. Is that fair? And the third thing is I'm going to give you 8 principles for a different kind of leadership that I like to characterize as deviant leadership. And I'll explain to you what deviant leadership is all about in just a minute. But those are the 3 things that we're going to do. We'll try to have a little fun in the process, all right? So I have a very difficult job. I'm a senior officer in a Fortune 500 company, and according to a recent survey, it's a little hard to read, but senior executives have the number 3 toughest job in America, maybe in the world even, right behind firefighters and surgeons. And my brother is a cardiologist, and so I could tell him my job is almost as challenging as yours. Now, I've got 2 kids that are in college. Anybody got kids in college right now? Okay, God bless you. My oldest is in his 2nd year, after discovering that you actually have to go to class to graduate. He wasn't quite have that principle yet. And my daughter just started school. And they tell me that they have a really tough job. And it was interesting to me that a lot of the businesses around universities try to help them out with how difficult that job is. And so this was an ad that I found recently in Lawrence, Kansas, in the paper for the University of Kansas. And you know, the 2 things that they focus on there are students can start donating. That's an article about donating blood so that you can get cash. And then they want you to meet the faces of the football team. And then, oh, Alvin, he's got a front page ad. Welcome back, students. Bud Light Kegs, $88, and Bud Light 30-pack, $17. So they're going to help them get through the challenges of school life. Now, my daughter's going to the Ohio State University, so I'm sure they don't. Thank you very much. Thank you. I was at the University of Cincinnati, but that's another story. Actually, right now, Cincinnati has the best college football team in the state of Ohio because we're ranked higher than Ohio State. I remind my daughter about daily. Anyway, so let me tell you a little bit about our company first before we get started. And we were, just like Henry Ford had the Model T in 1924, our company was started as Yellow Transit in 1924. And now we are a Fortune 500 company called YRC Worldwide, a variety of brands. We are around the world. We have a very large operation in China. In fact, the largest ground network in China, moving goods in what we call less than truckload scenarios. And the company, because of its heritage, has been around a long, long time. Most of you may know the company by, some people have said to me, oh, you're with Yellow Freight. Well, the company that was started as Yellow Transit and ultimately became Yellow Corp, and now is YRC Worldwide. Is best known for a little bit of trivia, and I'll share this with you right now. I'll do it very quick. It started in 1924, and it was called Yellow Transit, and all the equipment was the color yellow. Susan, can I borrow this? This is yellow for those of you who do not know what yellow looks like. And along the way, the founders of the company decided that they wanted to have the safest color on the road during daylight hours. And so they decided they would go to EI DuPont and ask them what are the safest colors on the road during daylight hours. And DuPont came back to them and said the safest color that motorists would see would be this color called swamp holly orange, which comes from, it's close to the pigment of the color of a swamp holly bush in south of Florida is where that bush comes from. PMS 151 for the anal retentive. And they changed all of their equipment to be swamp holly orange, much like the color of my socks, the same socks Mike's wearing. Mike is my sock vendor, so I get all my socks from Mike. And they changed all the colors of the equipment to be swamp holly orange rather than the sunshine yellow. And that is the least significant factoid I'll share with you today, but you might use that in a Trivial Pursuits contest sometime. Okay. The one thing that binds all of us, no matter who we are, is change. And I'm going to talk to you today about the perspective of change and what I really need from the organization and the people in my organization, what I need from the people that we contract with and bring into our organization to help us with the challenges that we face, what I need. So everything that I'm talking to you about is from sort of a senior executive kind of perspective. So bear that in mind as you hear this. But change is the one thing that binds us. And the challenge with change is that change is personal. You can't change your organization. You can't change your department. You can't change your company unless you're willing to entertain how you might be able to change yourself. And the principles that we're going to talk about, I contend, are life-changing kind of principles because change really starts in the inside. And our willingness to do more and to experience change in a profoundly different way than sometimes we do. Because there's typically only three things that we do with change. What's the first thing we do with change? When somebody is confronting us, Carrie, about a change in our company, what do we try to do first? Absolutely. Carrie, looked at the presentation. Resist. Very good, Carrie. We want to resist it. And most of the time, if you think about change that you've had to face, if you resist it, and over time you realize, you know, that wasn't so bad. I actually got something good out of that. So what tends to happen, once we get past this resisting kind of phase, is that we begin to embrace that change, right? That sound reasonable? Here's the problem. Resisting it does no good, because typically the change that you're trying to resist is going to come anyway. And embracing it is okay, but it's really not where extraordinary things begin to happen. Extraordinary things begin to happen when you create change. And that's really what I want to talk to us about, is how we go about creating change in such a profound environment that we're dealing with right now that's moving so rapidly. All right?